what should the employer do? What should the employer's response be? I'm sure he shouldn't make that decision. What do they do?
And for the site claim?
Well, let's say they have someone that's claiming that they're feeling stressed out at work, that they're feeling debilitated, they're unable, they're having migraines, things like that. So that's typically how it's going to present to an employer, right? It's going to be the person's going to tell them, "I'm feeling this way."
Right.
What should the
Well,
employer do?
well, the number one defense that employer has against a site claim is good faith personnel action. So if they're acting in good faith that, this is the normal coursework, they're not doing anything to harass you or otherwise demean you, treat you differently, etc., that it's literally, maybe this is just not the right type of job for you. You don't, that there's difference between, your employer creating this bad work environment versus you just don't like your job,
But
right? Or causes distress.
so let's boil that down. For an employer, that means that they should have, just like anything, documentation, 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 right?
Right. And protocols, right? Ways to handle their employees, to be well versed in HR, human resources. I think that's where you come in, Carlos.
Uh-huh.
To know how to work with your employees.
So this should be covered in their handbook. Like you said, good faith means that the handbook covers what happens when this happens. What do we value? That's what really your handbook is saying.